Hey there, it's Terry with IT Security Tip number 1, the first in our series. You'll be getting one of these a week. We hope you get a lot of value out of it, something that'll help your business be more productive and hopefully safer as well. The first subject is very timely for the time that this is being filmed in 2016, and it's called ransomware. Ransomware is shortened form of ransom software, and as kind of the name implies, it has to do with something being held hostage. In this case, the data and the programs on your computer or your network at your office, depending on how it gets out and how far it spreads before it can be stopped. It's usually delivered by email. Somebody clicks on an attachment and the data behind the program behind the scenes goes and encrypts all of the data that it can find. Data like Word documents, pictures, databases, virtually anything that's on your computer that the computer doesn't need to run, but you need to operate your business with. By encryption, it means it scrambles it in a very specific kind of way. It uses an encryption key. There's not one encryption key, there's one that's unique for you, are encrypted with this key, and only the guy who wrote the software or the criminals who wrote the software know what that key is. In most cases, they're going to make you pay them in a form of an anonymous currency, usually Bitcoin. I'm hearing that some folks are demanding payment in Apple iTunes gift cards these days too. That's another one. But they will give you a deadline. So you've got 72 hours a lot of times to come up with anywhere from $400 to $2,700 is the maximum we've seen. And if you don't come up with it, the software will kind of self-destruct, leaving your files encrypted forever. If you don't have a backup to restore from, and that backup is in good shape, you're done. There is no way to recover this in most cases. Ransomware has been around for years. It's not new, but it's increasing in frequency and increasing in varieties of attacks. Some say there are even millions of variants a day. In all cases, the email that you get is going to be unique to you. It's not going to be the one that your neighbor gets. It'll be something different because the criminals are just very good in this way. Most attacks, like I said, are via email. They typically come in an email that looks like it's from somebody you know or somebody that is pretending to do business with you, like FedEx or UPS. And they'll always refer to the attachment that is almost always a Word document of some kind. Double-clicking or opening that Word document is how you cause the infection. Just viewing the email in most cases isn't going to cause the infection, but the attachment does. That's why you got to be very careful with these. There are only a few ways to mitigate the threats of ransomware and the risks of it. One of the biggest that has the biggest impact rather is educating yourself and your staff on cybersecurity and best practices when it comes to just surfing the internet in general, especially when dealing with email and attachments. We can be a help with this with our partner university. If you want more information about that, let us know and we'll tell you about it. It's a great resource and it's extremely affordable for what it does. Another thing to do is begin using something called OpenDNS. Now this is a little bit technical and I'm not going to dive off into it, but look up OpenDNS or look at one of the links in this document. Use OpenDNS's free DNS services for your network. We can enable this for you if you don't know how to do that for yourself. Lastly, always have a fully managed and completely encompassing managed backup system for all of the data that your business depends on. If you have data scattered on all of your employee computers, that's not good. You need to get this data in one place and have a comprehensive backup system backing that information up, and having multiple versions of your backup copy stored both locally and off-site. You need to be tested continually to make sure that it's working for you. You may know about previous versions. You can right-click on a file and it says previous versions. Those won't help you in a ransomware attack because the ransomware software will wipe those things out. It's part of its MO. So I'll part with this. Never click emails with attachments from somebody you don't know or from somebody you know but you aren't expecting it. Give them a call and say, hey, did you send this to me? Don't reply to the email because you might be replying to the bad guy. If you want to send that person an email, make a new message and say, hey, I just got something from you. Did you send me an attachment? Well, with that, I'm going to close. I hope this has been helpful to you. And just remember, the internet is not your friend.